Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
I've been in the danger zone.
He got a bicycle.
Minus 5 stars.
Mango.
Huh? Yeah, but why? We're going for you,
Jeff Harvey.
How much is a Skyway?
Play.
4x21. Fuck him.
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new edition. This time it is Am I Still on the Air? Yes, it's been a while since we've done an Am I Still on the Air, but I'm super excited to be back here tonight for a pretty supersized episode here. We're doing kind of what usually is two different podcasts. We're going to absorb it into one and do a real fun episode here, talking about our top 10 of 2018, and then, of course, our top 10 most anticipated going into 2019. So I love it. I think it's going to be a great mix here as we basically fully wrap up everything, all the greatness that was of cinema in 2018. There's a ton of great stuff. We're recording live here from the Red Dragons Radio Studios. It is January the 8th, and so we're celebrating 2019. We're going to close out 2018 talking about our top 10, and then celebrate what we are excited for coming up here in 2019. And as always, with an Am I Still on the Air, I got some guests with me, and it's been a while. It's been a long time, but I'm happy to have back to the show Peeps and Frigginz. What up, y'all?
Peeps and Frigginz.
Whoa, we're back.
We need a live studio audience to actually get the full excitement that I'm sure everybody's experiencing at home.
And you have one of those applause buttons too, where you just hear clapping like.
No, actual people, Frigginz.
That's
Yes.
Yeah, actual people.
The curtain comes back. You guys come walking out. You know, the Roots are playing low-key music while you guys come out. You know.
Oh man, maybe Kiki Pat over there on the drums, like.
Doing boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes. Hey guys, well, welcome back. Welcome back. You know, long-time collaborators on the Am I Still on the Air, and you know, whenever we do shows like this, it's always fun to have these guys come in. We can all discuss. The fun part about this, we were just talking about this off the air before we started recording, is that we don't know what each other's list is, and that's exciting to me, because 2018, in a way, was a divisive year, because we talk all the time on a chat app, and a lot of times there's a lot of confliction, and there's a lot of back and forth of, you know, ooh, I really love this, and they didn't, and they really loved it, and I didn't, and it's a lot of back and forth, and it's always fun, you know, that's what's great about film, right? It's subjective, it's, you know, everybody loves something that somebody else doesn't, and 2018 was one of those years I really have no idea how this countdown is going to play out, and that makes it very exciting to me. We're going to keep it real simple here for you guys to not make it confusing and kind of jumping around back and forth. I want to keep the focus on everybody's list. So I'm going to start on over with Peeps, and I'm going to let him take over for 2018, counting down his top 10 films of the year. He'll tell us a little bit about what he liked about each one, why it kind of fell where it fell. We're going to actually go 10-2, and we'll all do our number ones together. So, Peeps, take it away, my man.
All right, Don. Thank you, by the way. Oh, man. Okay, so.
No pressure going first or anything, I mean.
Okay, now I wasn't feeling it until right now. Thanks, Frigginz.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, so 2018, we had some highs, and holy shit, did we have some lows. Now, I know we're not doing the whole honorable mentions. Generally, we do this. We start talking about all the movies that almost made the top 10, but didn't quite make it. This year, I got a lot. There's actually some dishonorable mentions that I just kind of wanted to throw it out there real quick. I have not walked out of a movie since The Village, and that took a lot, but I have not walked out of a movie in a long time. And holy crap, Mary Poppins had me wanting to stab myself in the face the entire freaking time.
Really? See, here we go already, dude. Mary Poppins, I had a smile on my face the whole time. It made me feel so happy. I loved Mary Poppins Returns, man. Come on,
Oh.
dishonorable mentions.
I'm in the middle. I saw that trailer and I was like, this looks like a piece of garbage. I'm not even gonna bother to see it.
It was whole. I left. I couldn't do it anymore.
Let me ask this though. Did you grow up on Mary Poppins? Like,
yes.
Did you watch it as a kid?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was.
See, that's
I
crazy to
Mary
me
Poppins.
because I grew up on Mary Poppins too. It holds a very fucking soft place in my heart. And
yeah, man.
So I was stoked, man. And I thought Emily Blunt killed it. The songs were cool.
She was a good Mary Poppins.
It was awesome. I remember saying to my wife after we left, I said, I just feel happy. Like, I was just smiling, like, happy. Like, that's the best way I could describe that movie. And you just hurt my feelings right out the gate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
We're supposed to be celebrating, and you.
I know. But like, when I left the theater, I had my wrist. I was pretty close to just letting the blood out of my wrist. I couldn't. But Bumblebee. Oh, why? Like, fine movie, but I've seen it 95 times. It's the same. It was E.T. It was every Mac and Me. You know, we all love Mac and Me, but I've just seen the movie so many times. Jurassic World. Why did I go to see that movie? The Nun. Why did I go see that movie? 2018 had me sad, but we're not talking about that anymore.
I love, Peeps, how like we're gonna go this new list and boom, we're gonna go boom, 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 and the first thing you do is derail us right away. I love it.
That's what we do. That's how we roll.
That shit was not supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
He went there, and I appreciate that, Don. Thank you. Unfortunately for me, there's a couple movies that I did not see. I really wanted to before we recorded this. Mission Impossible being one of them.
You didn't see that?
I did not see it.
Oh my god!
I know.
It's been on Blu-ray for like a year.
Spoiler alert! It's on my list.
Like everybody's talking about that. It's a film I wanted to check out, but I wasn't able to, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the
It's been on digital since November. How did you not see this?
I don't know, man. It's just been a rough year. Man. It's like, okay. Number 10.
What did you see?
Oh, I'll be happy to tell you, Frigginz.
It's going to be a bunch of kid movies that he went and saw with his kids and nothing else.
That's guaranteed. He's going to have Wreck-It Ralph on here for sure.
I had it, dude. That was number 11. I barely took that one. All right, number 10. Probably going to make Don and Geeky Pat sad, but number 10, it did make my top 10. Aquaman.
Hey, I'll take it that it made your top 10. That's a win right there. Woo!
The more I think about it, I did enjoy Aquaman. I actually enjoyed it. It's, as I would say, a popcorn flick. I didn't leave the theater feeling like, wow, game changer. This movie blew me away like some of the other movies on my list did. But I left looking forward to actually seeing it again. I went to see it by myself. I was like, all right, is this something my kids are going to want to sit through? Yes, it is. And I took my kids to see it later on. And let me tell you, my son the whole time is telling me how he's Aquaman. So to think I would ever hear my kid telling me that he's Aquaman.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the movie did its job. The movie did its job.
Yeah. It was, and like some of those wide angle like action shots, like in the beginning when his mom was fighting those dudes, it was just really well choreographed in terms of the actual action, CGI, story, but they had some really good scenes. They had some really good, dude. That scene with those little monster things, and they're swimming in the water, and it goes like completely like silent, and you just hear that as they're like swimming down deeper. That was dope as shit.
Yeah,
and all you see is
that was cool, but then they go to the Savage Land out of nowhere. Come on.
All right, okay, number 10, Aquaman. Number 9. Number 9, probably higher on your guys' list. It just kind of sucks. Frigginz and I were talking about this. The movies that come out earlier in the year, sometimes they kind of fall back. Because probably the time that it, you know what? I'm switching this one right now. So
pulling a switcheroo.
Yep. Because thinking about it, I just saw this movie way more than I saw my number 9, or my number 8. So it's switching. All right, number 9, Ant-Man 2, right? MCU movie very low on Peeps' list. What's going on? Ant-Man 2, as fun as it was, it didn't really blow me away like the first one did. It was literally like a copy and paste of the first one, and that was really it. It had some really great moments, really fun ending. I love, what they do with the main villain, especially towards the very end. I dug it, but it didn't really blow me away. A lot of the great things that happened in the trailer. So yeah, Ant-Man 2. Number 8,
Peeps,
my audible.
I will. I was just gonna add in there and let you know so you don't feel so bad.
Yes.
It didn't even make my list.
Oh my god.
Okay.
These guys always make me reevaluate bringing you guys on the show.
I'm shooting for the classic Don statement that he seems to always tell me, get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. That's pretty good. Classic Don. All right, number 8, Ready Player One. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think at this point, this is the point of the list where everything is very close. Really enjoyed Ready Player One. Didn't completely blow me away, but there's so much going on in this movie. So many great things that are happening. The actual CGI, the graphics, it just looks completely amazing. All the fun little Easter eggs. No matter how many times you see it, you'll probably catch something new each time. And it was nice. It was really nice. It didn't blow me away, but it was a very nice, fun movie. That one had me smiling when I left, unlike Mary Poppins. But that's a different story. All right, number 7.
I'm sorry, I keep having these questions.
No, it's okay.
on your number on your number 8, did you have and this will be quick, did you have a favorite Easter egg that popped up that was the one that made you go, oh my god?
Probably. So this kind of ties into my 2019, but probably my favorite little Easter egg was, and it wasn't an Easter egg, but moment was the Mecha Godzilla that popped up. When I saw Mecha Godzilla, nice. I got hella excited. So I was like, Mecha! But yeah,
Sweet.
that was cool seeing Blanca in the club. That was kind of cool. But
that was cool.
Yeah. All right, so you think about that one if and or you have that on your list. Number 7, Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2, again, funny, great, had a really good time, had a blast. Not as good as everything else on my list, and I'm sorry if I say one. Probably my next movie that's going to upset Don. But Deadpool 2, just saw it recently. And I liked it a lot more, recently watching it than I did seeing it at the theaters. But there's just some things like that end that just really kind of messed it up for me. The CGI fight, along with his extended death scene, it just kind of messed it up. But other than that, Deadpool 2 was a really, really, really fucking good time. Number 6. All right, this is where it's going to kind of get weird, y'all. Hotel Transylvania 3.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Jesus.
I cannot believe
this
that's not even on
motherfucker
your list,
just
man.
ranked Hotel Transylvania 3 over
Yep.
Deadpool 2 and
That just
Ant-Man
happened.
and the Wasp, and
That
he
just
walked
happened.
out
And
to
Ready
fucking
Player
Mary
One.
Poppins.
What the shit, Sean?
What the fuck?
Put
Hotel
your pinky
Transylvania
fingers
3
to the moon.
is the worst of the trilogy, and this motherfucker ranked it in number 6.
What y'all
Damn.
trying to do?
I'm gonna start coughing.
I knew you were
gotta
gonna have
mute
kid
myself.
movies, but that movie of all the fucking movies,
Have you seen it, Frigginz?
no, because the
Okay.
first one was so terrible I couldn't watch any more.
I need you to mute yourself then.
I saw it in
At
the
least
theater.
Don saw it.
I earned my right. I actually own it on Vudu. I've seen it multiple times. The only part that deserves a top 10 mention is the Macarena dance at the end with the monsters. Other than that, this fucking movie, man.
I found
Don't say blah, blah, blah.
laughing through that whole fucking movie. I don't know. I was laughing harder than my kids were. And
That's
when we're
hilarious.
at home, I'm like, hey, y'all, don't you want to watch Hotel Transylvania 3? Like, no, I want to watch Teen Titans Go. No, but that Hotel Transylvania 3, though. No. I'm like, all right, y'all. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I friggin' love this movie.
Teen
So,
Titans
Hotel
Go, I want to
Transylvania.
give an honorable mention to the movie. Teen Titans Go to the movies. Honorable mention right there. Your kids have good taste, buddy.
Okay. Number 5.
But your taste sucks, is what he's saying.
Yeah. All right, eat a dick. Number 5, a movie that I did not expect to like. It's funny because I haven't seen any of the movies of the previous movies, but since this movie is a prequel, that's okay because I'm starting with this movie. That is The First Purge. This movie blew me the fuck away. I absolutely loved this movie throughout thick and thin. The eyes, it was so good. I mean, I'll just say that. Hashtag this is my new Blade. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. And the main protagonist, which is kind of an antagonist in the beginning, but the main dude, he's like, that's Blade. Anyways, First Purge, check it out if you haven't seen it. And Fred, I know you haven't seen it.
You said you haven't seen Bird Box yet?
Correct.
He's a main character in Bird Box, so maybe that'll entice you to watch it.
Yeah. He's awesome in Bird Box.
He is cool in Bird Box.
I didn't want to watch it until right this second, so I'm going to check it.
I will tell you this, Peeps. I didn't want to see The First Purge. I heard Don preaching about it, and I'll give you credit, Don. You told me to go watch that second one because you said it was like a Punisher movie, and I was like, okay. And then I wasn't going to see this one, but then after hearing both of you guys talking, especially how much you liked it, it made the list of to watch movies. I unfortunately didn't get to it by the time we did this recording.
It's good. It ain't top 10 good. But it's
top
good.
10 good. I'm telling you, it was top 10 good. All right, number 4. Another movie that I did not expect to like that much, and that is Solo. I don't understand the haters out there for Solo. I loved everything about Solo. I loved the droid. Fuck y'all that don't like the droid. I like the little Jar Jar Binks droid.
Pain in my ass. The worst part of the movie.
I love the droid. The dude, he wasn't Han Solo.
Fucking feminist robot. This made no fucking sense.
Just starting riots and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, we all want to start a riot. I do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
a song for sure.
So yeah, Solo. I really liked it. Yeah, freaking dope. Number 3.
You were saying something about Han. I want to hear what you had. Finish what you were saying.
No, well, it just really. I feel that my only beef is that he, Lando, the Gambino, aka Donald Glover, he played a young Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian. McGregor guy, he played a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like he was basically Obi-Wan Kenobi, as if Sir whoever actually played him in the originals.
I'm gonna contest that though, because I feel Donald Glover was only Billy D during the card game when you're first introduced to him. He's very Billy D in that scene. And then, as the movie goes on, he completely drops the shit, and he's just Donald Glover.
Okay, so, that's fair.
Because he's super Billy D. Williams in that card game when you first meet him. He's like, come on, baby, yeah. All super over the top. And then later on, he's just like, yeah, let's get to the ship. Like, no problem. Like, everything's all regular.
Hey,
like,
you want to see my new cape?
He just said,
I
fuck
think the
it.
difference is the card game is like Billy D. from Empire. But then the rest of it is like him from Jedi.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so horrible.
Sure.
I know.
I'll take it.
I look at it as the movie had two different sets of directors, and one said, you better be Billy D. Williams, and the other one said, do whatever the fuck you want.
do whatever, yeah.
And those were the reshoots.
We're shooting it a year later. You don't remember what you were doing, so
that's
keep
funny.
Doing. All right, yeah. But yeah, no, Solo. Hella dope. Black Panther is my number 3. We're at my top 3 now. Man, like I can't tell you how much I enjoyed Black Panther. Probably the only movie on this list that I saw more than 2 times. I saw it 4 times at the theater. I loved Black Panther, and then when it came on video, I watched the shit out of it then. My only issue with it was probably why it's not rank 1 or 2 is that fucking CGI battle.
Fucking rhinos. That's
the CGI battle was terrible.
And the rhinos was whatever, but that freaking CGI battle at the end, I'm like, they're 2 dudes. Let me just see Chadwick and fucking Creed need, go at it. Like I think that would just be absolutely amazing. Like whether if neither one of them had their powers and so the stakes was raised even more. I don't know. Be it as it may, it was fine in the end. But God, I would have loved that last fight between the two of them to be much more epic than it actually was. So yes, Black Panther. I can go on and on about that movie, but there's two more people that need to go after me. So Black Panther. Number 2, and this is where I'm going to stop. This was a very difficult one, guys. This was very, very difficult. This one actually almost made my number 1. But if Frigginz, he and we had a conversation about a week or two ago about this, and it changed my mind. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my number 2. This fucking movie. If y'all have not seen this, go see it. Comic book fan or not comic book fan, this movie will get to you. Like, I was just like every other movie, like Guardians of the Galaxy, I was laughing. I got choked up. I was like actually at the edge of my seat, like kind of nervous about how things were going to go down. And they just did so well putting this movie together. And then my thing when it comes to big ensemble movies like this, fucking Suicide Squad, like they're introducing a ton of characters within one movie. So we have to actually learn and get kind of attached to each character. It's a difficult task, but I feel this movie does it very well. They do their little backstories, hilarious. And it's a comic book. What are we doing?
I was just quoting your movie, dude. Come on.
Oh,
you're hyping it up so much, you completely missed the fucking boat.
I thought we were gonna have to do the whole show all over.
Jeez. He's like, they tell their little stories in such a cool way. Every time they start off with, "All right, guys, one last time," and then they do their little story. All right. Jesus Christ.
That was good. I think Peeps and I almost like had heart attacks right now. We were like, "What?"
Yeah, no, I can't wait to hear that. It's a pretty good pause, probably. The fuck? No. So yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If y'all have not seen that, go see that movie. Some awesome twists in it. Things that comic book fans knew was coming, but they just handled it so good. And they even changed things for the comic book fans that we didn't even know what to expect. So such an awesome movie. I'm going to drop the mic and let y'all talk for a bit. And Fred, just know I'm going to be interrupting your ass like 6-7 times. So
I only did it like 3 or 4. Whatever.
I know you were very polite about it, and I appreciate it. And you actually added some extra context to what I'm saying, but I'm interrupting the shit out of you.
Bring it.
All right. So interesting. Kicked off just the way I thought. All right. Frigginz. We're going to switch on over to Frigginz. He's going to do his 10 through number 2. Let's see what we got over here.
I can tell you right now that I'm
So, Fred, I must ask you real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, that's not a question. Do you realize that you said you were going to ask me something?
Okay, go ahead.
Jesus. All right. I'm about to piss Don off so bad right now. You guys just wait for it. He could probably feel it coming. All right. So I saw probably around 37 movies. I totaled them all up. I'm a little disappointed. It should have been closer to 50. But there was still a few, like Pete said, that I missed that I wanted to see that would, I feel like may have had a shot at breaking the 10. But
don't
regardless,
see Mary Poppins.
That was not one of them. I wanted to see like the girl with the spider tattoo or whatever the hell it's called, and a couple others.
No, I think that is Mary Poppins. I think they integrated those movies together.
That is hilarious. And that's okay. Well, maybe I'll go see it then. But now here's my 10 of all the movies that I did see. There's a couple close ones that was really hard not to put on this list, but number 10, I'll start with A Quiet Place. Now, I know you guys.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's not that bad. No.
I like The Quiet Place. Yeah.
There's another one that's really gonna piss Don off. The Quiet Place makes number 10 for me. I actually had it higher at one point, but then I started like.
You should have said that. You should have said A Quiet Place is number 10. Just moved right on to number 9 because you need to stay quiet about it.
I know, right? Just silent.
But like number 10, A Quiet Place.
Cricket.
All right, number 9 is.
But it was great. I mean, when I went in this movie, and then like within the first couple minutes, I hear that they're not gonna say anything, and I'm just like, how the fuck is this gonna entertain me for 2 hours? And it really did. I thought this is an amazing showing of like character acting with just, you know, body language and your eyes, and like just the ability to build tension that way was amazing. And every actor in it was just phenomenal. So really caught me off guard. And I don't normally like suspense or kind of horror-y kind of movies. So it's surprising this one made number 10.
I think my favorite part in that movie was waiting for her to do the Home Alone step on the nail. I was like, oh, this is going to be hilarious. Watch. And it was hilarious.
It was painful. That was the worst part of the movie. Jesus, man. But yeah. So the funny thing about these lists, every year we make them, I always end up getting like at least half of the movies on my list were not on my most anticipated list. I just find that very interesting. Sometimes the most anticipated ones have like huge letdowns, and ones you aren't expecting end up being on there. So that's definitely one of those.
When you start putting together most anticipated, the only movies we really truly know about are the big blockbusters, and then everything else
had trailers and teasers of.
Yeah, and then everything else that's like quieter movie, like A Quiet Place, we didn't know about till like 2 months before it came out. You know, like so some of these other movies, like we have no idea. You know, so it is hard when you really try to compare it like that, but. That's the kind of way it goes. I mean, we're only going to have trailers or photos or anything to go off of for the big blockbusters, so it makes it kind of hard to go down unless you know it's like a franchise film that you can kind of count on. Other than that, you're kind of just I'm taking a guess.
And it's cool though because it makes it fun and it gives you some surprises along the way. Another surprise for me was my number 9. This is Mission Impossible Fallout, the one that Peeps should have been seeing. Instead of one of the like 30 times you watch Hotel Transylvania.
Exactly.
I apologize.
It's
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Apology accepted. But the reason this was a surprise for me is because kind of after the second one, I started kind of dying off on it. Now, I've seen them all, and I saw them all in theaters, but they've always been like good to me, but like almost disappointing at some level. And
I don't
so like, I like parts about them, but then there's things I don't like about them. And so I was like not really super excited for this particular one. But after seeing the trailers, I find this every time a Mission Impossible comes out where I'm like, oh my God, they got me again. I'm actually excited to go see a Mission Impossible. And then I go see it, and then I'm usually disappointed. So this was great to see the badass action. The addition of Henry Cavill was amazing. He was just such an extra addition to Tom Cruise, and he brought some extra weight on there that you wouldn't like normally have with just some lower level people. Like to get a big hitter like him on there.
Would you say like, that with Henry Cavill in the movie, you now have hope?
Yeah. Would you say he did a real super job?
It's too bad that he died so soon.
Wait,
crash and burn. No, I'm trying to like do the Superman thing, but then he comes back, right? So he's like back.
No, you completely fucked it all up.
Wow,
I fucked it all
up. Yeah.
You crashed it.
So what's your number 8, Frigginz?
So yeah, that was my number 9. Anyway, it's awesome. Check it out, peeps. My number 8 was a little higher on your list, I believe, but that's Deadpool 2.
It was one rank higher.
Oh, okay. So we're pretty close. Deadpool 2 was hilarious. It was funny. It had some sweet action. That the blood and the gore was all there. It definitely felt like a perfect sequel to the first one. But like you peeps, there were a couple things that I didn't like, and mostly it had to do with like the over CGI at the end, and that extra long death. That was definitely problematic. I have to say that there was a lot of concerns going into the movie. Ended up loving Domino. She was the perfect character fit for that role. Cable blew me away. I thought he was amazing. So Josh Brolin killing it this year. And so it checked off all the things it needed to check off for a Deadpool 2 movie. No big surprise there. My number 7 was Solo. Now, I was actually surprised that your Solo
Why is it so low on your list?
It's so low because there's a couple things that were so much better.
Okay.
Now, like you, I don't understand the hate for Solo. like it gave me everything I wanted. Like to me, it's the closest. That and Rogue One are probably the closest to a rated R Star Wars movie I'm ever gonna get. Like I've always wanted that like darker, gritty, like almost depressing. Like dude, we're talking about wars here, people. And I thought it was such a cool. Specifically, that scene that stood out to me is when Han is like in the war, and you see stormtroopers like actually dying, and it just put such a reality to it, and it was like depressing, and it was so interesting.
And like when he's like, yeah, technically we're invading them. He's like, good talking about soldier.
That was so cool to put it in those kind of different perspectives. And I love the other thing that really makes this movie make my 10 is that it had the whole kind of a Western-y vibe almost to it. I have a soft spot in my heart for Western movies, so that particular section really, or that particular vibe added it to rank a little higher on my list. All right. Here's where I'm going to start getting angry faces. Number 6, I have Black Panther. I know, it's kind of low. Whoa. I know, it didn't even make the top 5. Nice. But dude, come on, Black Panther was amazing. It was amazing. Killmonger is probably in my top, 3 villains of the Marvel Universe. That dude was awesome. You got to love Michael B. Jordan, pretty much anything he does. Black Panther was awesome himself. I love all the additional characters that they introduced us to. The world was phenomenal. I loved the CGI through the beginning was just right on point. But I had a few issues with it that dropped it down. Just like we talked about already, the rhinos. Damn those rhinos. And the CGI battle at the end. I'm with you, peeps. Like, how can we not just get 2 like trained fighters and cat suits to jump around and fight each other? Like that, I think would have looked so much cooler. This motherfucker dropped a meow.
He did.
That's awesome. Meow. So yeah, Black Panther was pretty awesome. I also had a few issues with some of the lighting, especially in the beginning scene.
This
in the
motherfucker
jungle,
just said I have issues with the lighting.
I've heard that. Like people saying like the movie's like really dark and they can't see things. I've heard that too, but I'm like in a scene where it's at night and he's supposed to be stealthy, I was okay with that.
Right?
Like you're not supposed
to. How dare the movie be dark when it's at nighttime?
The same thing the criminals are. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They just see it. Black shadow.
That's my problem. The criminals are not supposed to see him. We, the audience, are supposed to see him. Like they could tweak it and make it like dark blue or something, or dark green. Like where they can modify it so we can see what's happening and understanding that they can't see him. But anyway, I digress.
Wakanda forever.
One last thing I will add. Fuck, that soundtrack is amazing, and I loved it. Oh,
that was another thing I loved about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I forgot to mention.
Yes, that I will add that in the future as well. All right. If Pat was here, he'd be doing a drum roll because I'm about to piss someone off. Okay, so this movie is my number 5. And it ranks higher than Black Panther and Solo and Deadpool because if you break it down, it's actually a better movie. I love the comic books. I love the nerdy aspects of Star Wars. I love, the action-y of Mission Impossibles. But this one had to give it up a little bit higher because it's a great story. It's got great acting. It's got great score. It's got great music throughout it. And it's just
ready for Bohemian Rhapsody?
Better movie, and it's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh God, don't do it.
A Star Is Born.
Oh, okay, I won't fight you on that.
What? Oh, I was expecting you to lose your mind.
No, I'd love to Star Is Born. I will not fight that aspect.
That movie is such a good movie, and
I don't think it should be as high as you have it. But
that's the Lady Gaga movie, right?
Yeah, it is
so
very good.
It has, like I said already, all the aspects, it checks off every single box. It gave me like emotional moments where I like teared up of joy and teared up of sadness. And it has everything. And there's a twist in the movie, which I will not obviously reveal. But when that twist happened, I literally thought to myself, there's no fucking way in hell I ever imagined that to happen.
Is she a ghost?
Yes, that's what you ruined it for everybody. Dude. Spoilers, people.
Sorry.
And
movie's not even out on digital yet. He's over here spoiling.
I know, right? Throwing out the ending right there. It's so good, and that is my number 5. Okay, number 4. All right, here we go. Drum roll. Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh my fucking God! That's what I thought number 5 was gonna be. Get the fuck out of here. Crazy Rich Asians, the fucking director of Gem and the Holograms. This motherfucker just ranked that shit at number 4 over A Star Is Born? Are you fucking serious?
So I just went into like major detail about all the reasons why A Star Is Born is really good and should be on that top 5. Crazy Rich Asians, I actually can't explain it. Like
exactly. Jesus, it's a fucking rom-com.
I don't know what it was. I must have watched it at the exact right time. Like everything was lining up to where I needed that like hilarious, funny rom-com, cool act. Like everything about it was just exactly what I needed in that moment. And I think it's a cool movie to step back and be like, you know, so I like dark and depressing movies. I like cool action movies. I like blockbuster movies. I like all this like mostly depressing stuff all the time. So it was a good change of pace, and it hit me exactly when I needed it. And let me tell you, Crazy Rich Asians is one of the best movies of this year. Number 4 on the list.
You can't just try to transition after that. This, let me just reiterate, he just ranked this shit higher than Black Panther, Solo, A Star Is Born, which is an Oscar contender.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. Fucking Crazy Rich Asians. This is number 4.
Yeah, it almost made number 3, to be honest, but it got edged out just barely.
Is Ming-Na Wen in that movie?
She is.
Yes.
Oh.
Fred said yes, like hoping that she was, because he's not sure.
I know. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I feel like she is, but now I'm not sure. Is she?
She is.
I don't think she is.
She is.
I think it's not her.
It is her.
No. I'm looking at the cast right now. She's not on the cast.
She's in it.
Oh, okay. I'll go with Don. Anyway, it's worth watching. You'll laugh. You might cry. You're gonna have a good time at the end of the day. So just watch it. It's that good. Trust me. Number 3. Moving on. My number 3 is Ready Player One, peeps. That movie was amazing. I thought it was great. I remember watching the trailer. So I read the book, couldn't wait for the movie, saw the trailer and was like, oh, fuck, they're going to fuck it up.
You didn't watch it.
And it went downhill for me. I was like, I do not want to see this movie. After seeing the trailer, I was so stressed out, so depressed. And then I watched the movie and I fell in love with it. It was amazing. And I definitely give a lot of credit to Spielberg for getting this thing done, and I think in a unique way that was not exactly like the books, but close enough to the feel of what was put in the books. So I don't know. And go ahead, Sean.
I just wish that the live action scenes were as good as the in the computer world scene. Like when they weren't in the computer world, I'm like, can we just stop and go back to the fake world? Because I just did not care about what any of these kids were doing. I don't know. I don't know about you, but there's nobody on the internet that I like enough to like risk my life for. I don't know. It's just, hey, we played a game together. Hey, let me go die for you, guy that I only know your avatar name. Like, no, I don't know. I wasn't feeling that part.
They were causing a revolution, Sean. I mean, they were changing the world.
No.
Well, either way, it made my number 3. I thought it was amazing. And I will say that, like, a lot of the reason why I like it so much is there's so many Easter eggs that pop in there and remind you of all the things you've loved and grew up with. And that really had an impact. And
what was your favorite Easter egg?
Oh, I struggled. There's 2. I really like the Kira motorcycle. That really stood out to me. But I have to give my favorite, it will barely edge it out, is the pulse rifle from Aliens, because Aliens is probably my favorite movie ever.
There's a pulse rifle in that movie?
Yes, there's a pulse rifle. Oh my God, go watch it again. And that's my number 3. And I will close out on my number 2 as well, which matches yours, peeps. I also have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as number 2. Very close to being number 1 as well. But when I stepped back and broke it down, this is a 5-star movie. It's got everything. We said already, it's got the music and the score. Oh, he said, we get like cool story, cool acting, cool graphics. Like everything hits every single mark along the way. The one thing that that made me edge it down just a notch is it didn't make me cry. And I got to tell you, it's not that hard to make me cry at a damn movie. I pretty much ball up for almost anything. And, that
Mary Poppins will make you cry.
It may, to be honest.
With happiness, wanting you to be a little kid with a great imagination again.
No, I must say though, Into the Spider-Verse, there was no tears, but I definitely got choked up at one scene in particular. So
I agree. The choke up happens, but I didn't quite get the tears, so that made me leave it at the 2 mark. So that's my top 9.
All right. Wow, some shockers in there. Did not expect Crazy Rich Asians to make anybody's top 10 tonight.
What a twist!
What a twist! We got M. Night Shyamalan over here, fucking dropping fucking twists and bombs on us.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Okay, man. All right,
take us home, Don.
All right. Top 10. 2018 saw a shit ton of movies. This was actually really hard to an extent to break down to 10. I will say I agree with Fred that A Star Is Born was an amazing film. Almost made my top 10. Didn't quite crack it in, but man, that was a really strong movie as well. That probably would have been my 11 right there. But coming in number 10, I'm going to have one here that no one's going to see coming. It wasn't on either of your lists. I don't even think you guys saw it. But sometimes, just like how Crazy Rich Asians just struck Fred at the right time, sometimes a movie just hits you in the right way. And my number 10 is actually a little film called Instant Family. It came out in November with Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. It is a true story about them. They've been married for several years. They can't have children, so they look into fostering a child. And they end up picking a teenager to foster, and she actually has 2 younger siblings, and the foster home is saying, hey, you can't take the one without the others. And they end up going into this foster situation with 3 kids now, one basically around 4 years old, one around 7, and then of course like a 15-year-old. And man, this movie just wowed me. I mean, it was really funny. It had so much heart. We've talked about crying tonight. I cried a million fucking times during it. It hit on every emotional level possible. Watching it from a kid perspective of like what these kids were going through, just being tossed around from family to family, trying to find, some parents that will actually love them, and then to what the teenager was feeling, also having to try to take care of her younger siblings, but then not being sure if tomorrow's going to be a change of family. The marriage dynamic between Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne, of them, having this awesome relationship in the beginning, and then that being tested when the kids come to play. It's just, it wowed me, man, and this was a movie that was actually supposed to come out this year in 2019 in a couple months, but because of positive word of mouth, they bumped it up to November and made it like a holiday film. And when I looked at the whole year in general, there's some films, like I said, they just resonate with you, and Instant Family did that for me, so that's my number 10.
Wow.
Dude, I have to say I had like zero desire to see that movie, but then, obviously I follow you, and on your Stardust when you talked about it, I was just like, man, I might actually have to see this. So that bumped into my, watch list. So that's on the list, but only because of your review, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely check it out when it comes out. I'm hoping it comes out soon. I can't wait to watch it again. I'll definitely be buying that one. My number 9, and it's funny, when I made my list and I put this at number 9, I thought, for whatever reason, you guys were going to talk shit and be like, I can't believe you put this on your list, because this movie is actually kind of been hated on a lot throughout the year, but you both had it on your list too, and that's Solo. I have Solo at
so
number
good.
9. I agree. I saw the reviews. I heard all the word of mouth. I heard a lot of diehard Star Wars fans being like, "Fuck that movie," and it just crashed and burned when it came out. But I had a fucking blast with this movie, man. I thought it was great. I thought it was a fun ride. You know, it is just a fun adventure from start to finish, and I had a tremendous amount of fun with it. And yeah, so when I was looking back at the year, I was actually a little shocked that it made my top 10, because when I thought back on the year, it didn't come to mind right away. And then when I looked at everything, I said, man, I really enjoyed Solo, so it's going to make my list. And I thought I was going to be the only one with it, so it made me feel a lot better that you both had that on there as well, too. Because I was like, man, am I the only one feeling this film? So, you know, it does suck that it holds this, like, negative stigma, and that it's, like, the biggest Star Wars bomb of all time, and it lost the studio
and we'll
money.
never see another, even though
I
they
know
left it
we
open.
need another so bad. We need another one.
Yes.
I heard there's like some like fan thing going on, or what's his name? The director. He's actually trying to get fans like behind it to get it going again. But
He needs to start a
not happening.
Kickstarter. I'd support it.
Yeah, right.
I'll give him $1, right?
Yeah. He's only got to raise
Exactly.
like 200 mil to get it going. So, you
All
know.
right, $2. I got $2 on it.
So there you go. Number 9 is Solo. Number 8, another film that was on both of you guys' list, and I enjoyed the hell out of it myself too, and that's Ready Player One. So Ready
Hell
Player One
yeah.
comes in at number 8. I agree with everything you guys have said. I mean, from the nostalgia factor, I mean, being an 80s kid myself, I had a blast with everything this movie did. Every time they put on the damn VR headset, I was like, hell yeah, let's go into the Oasis. And let's get taken away, you know, and just all the Easter eggs and just everything going on in this film was so much fun. Once again, lots of fun had this year, and Ready Player One was just one of those that I was interested in the film. I liked the trailer, but it was one of those rare circumstances where I felt like after I saw the movie and I walked out of the theater, I was more blown away. It exceeded my expectations. I loved it way more than I ever thought I would. So, Ready Player One, number 8.
Did you have a favorite Easter egg?
I don't know if I had a favorite. I mean, you know, I enjoy all the Easter eggs in the race, like from King Kong to the Back to the Future car to the, like you said, the Akira motorcycle. That whole race is awesome. I love the entire Shining sequence. I think that was incredible.
That was dope.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Just all the little things, like him going into disguise in the him going into disguise in the Oasis as Clark Kent was really cool. Like just little things like that
was cool.
that I just thought was really, you know, was really just nice little nods there to everything. Great movie. Number 7 is a movie that has not been mentioned tonight on either of your lists. But I absolutely love this movie, and it just won the Golden Globe for Best Film of the Year, and that is Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody is my number 7. I have always been a massive Queen fan my entire life. I love that band so much. And when they started making this movie, I was like, man, this is going to be tight. I've been following the development of this film for many, many years, all the way back to where, you know, Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to play Freddie Mercury when they first started making this movie.
Good.
And then he ended up dropping out because he wanted to do this, like, hardcore rated R movie and just all over the top. And instead, they went with Rami Malek. And, wow, this movie is incredible. The acting is awesome. I loved watching the Queen story told. This comes out on digital next week, and I cannot wait to get it and sit down and watch this thing again. When I walked out of the theater, I was like, Rami Malek has to win Best Actor. He was so incredible as Freddie Mercury. I was so stoked the other night when he won Best Actor at the Golden Globes, and then the movie won Best Film. I thought that was just awesome because I really love the celebration that this movie's getting, from just the performances to just the way the band was pulled off in the movie the songs, the story, and of course the big Live Aid performance at the end is just magnificent. So I was wowed by Bohemian Rhapsody. Really, really enjoyed it. So that's number 7 for me.
A
That's a
fun
good
little
pick,
nod
man.
is the same director that made X-Men made this movie. How the fuck that happened, I have no idea. But it happened.
Right?
It
Go
happened.
figure. But you know what's cool is like I'm not a big music guy, so like I can't like rattle off like names of bands and songs and stuff. So I found it really interesting watching this movie and being like, holy crap, that's a Queen song. And then, like every time, like all these songs would pop up, I'd be like, I didn't know that was a Queen song, and then everyone's looking at me like you're an idiot.
Hell yeah. You know
But
what's
it was
funny?
good. It was good.
Yeah, and what's funny about how great these songs are is like when the movie finished, when we saw it in the theater, we saw it in IMAX, and when the movie ended and they're literally just the credits are scrolling, but they're playing Queen songs obviously through the credits. No one got up and left. And it wasn't like anybody was like, "Ooh, let's wait for the after credits scene." Like, it was literally just people enjoying the music and just sitting back being like singing along, and it was just a really cool thing to see. I was like, wow, nobody's getting up and leaving right now. And and it just goes to show you again, there's the powerfulness of the music of Queen. So it was really
I was going to ask you that when I saw Straight Outta Compton. I mean, throughout that entire movie, there was people behind me of all races just rapping to every song that popped up in that movie. And I was going to ask, is that kind of the same thing in this one? Is it like as
totally.
this song, everyone
For sure.
was singing?
I had the same thing as Don was talking about. Like, and I saw it not even on the first day. I saw it like that weekend, but like even a couple days after release, I had the same thing where people were just sitting there through the credits listening to songs, and then it was like from every age, from little kids to older people, and it was just cool to see how many generations they've affected and like how many people know their songs, except for me apparently.
That's not a good word. Can't say
it's so true, Fred. I mean, it's so true. My brother-in-law, his daughter is only 15, and she's been gushing about this movie all summer. She's like, oh my god, hey, like I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody again, and it's so good. Like me and my friends go, and she's just like she's been glowing about this movie for the past couple months, and I'm just like, yeah, it is really cool, and it's just funny to see because I mean, yeah, 15, dude, she didn't grow up on this shit, and it's like, but like she's gone several times to see it in the theater, and it was her favorite movie of the year, and it does. The age range is just all over the place, and I had an emotional attachment to a lot of the songs too. My mom got me into Queen, and my mom passed a couple years ago, and so when they, sing Radio Gaga at the end, like that was her favorite song, and it resonated with me in a different way, because I was like, man, I kept thinking in my head, like, man, I wish I could watch this with my mom, and just different things like that, and it just, and that's the great thing about film too, is the emotional response that it connects with you, and this movie just did it for me, man. So I love Bohemian Rhapsody, number 7. Number 6, and I'm going to fall like Fred did on this one, Black Panther, number 6.
Oh, dang.
So,
not the only one.
Nope. So I think you had it at 6 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, looking back through, I'm just like, man, a great movie, had a blast with it. There's a lot of people out there that are like, Black Panther's the greatest movie of the year, and it's the best comic book movie ever made, and all this stuff, and it's like, I know that there's a certain hype to this movie, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, but really, in the end of it all, like, it's just other movies I had more fun with, and to me, especially in a top 10 ranking, it's going to be the movies I want to sit down and I want to watch again and again and have a really good time with. And I've seen Black Panther a million times, and it's a great film, but I just enjoy others a little bit better than this one here. So Black Panther falls at number 6 for me. Number 5, Aquaman. So Aquaman comes
Honestly, I'm surprised it's that low, John. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I never said it was my favorite movie of the year or anything, but once again, we talk fun. I had a tremendous blast with Aquaman. I had no idea what to really expect out of this. I mean, we had a little bit of him in Justice League, and I liked what he did in Justice League, But I was curious, you know. But each trailer got me more and more wowed to what this movie could be. James Wan is a fantastic director, and I was very curious to see what his touch on this would be. And man, this movie is a visual feast from start to finish. There's so many different things to explore in this movie. I just the world of Atlantis, the action that we see. Jason Momoa is just a blast of fun to have as your lead character. I thought Orm was awesome. I thought Black Manta was awesome. I thought Mera was awesome. I really just enjoyed all the characters. I enjoyed the story that it told, and I just had a blast following through on this adventure. I want to go back and see it again. I've only seen it once, and I did not get to see this one in IMAX, and everybody's saying you got to see this movie in IMAX, so I want to go back. I want to see it again up on that big screen, but I had such a blast with it, man. By the time it came around to the end, and it's not a spoiler, we already know he gets the damn Aquaman suit, right? The orangey green. But when he busts out and he comes riding on that damn fucking Leviathan or whatever at the end, and he's in the suit with the fucking trident, I mean, it's hard not to get fucking goosebumps over that shit. Like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I just had a tremendous
I want to
fun
add.
with it.
I was just gonna add, John, like the other cool thing about that movie is the other characters, and you mentioned how cool everyone else was. And for me, my favorite thing about that movie was Mera and Black Manta. Yeah. Both of them were so friggin' awesome. Black Manta's suit, I never thought from seeing the old school cartoons that they could make a suit look like that ridiculous, make it look that cool. You know what I mean?
And they put context to it.
Right.
You know, like it was the ray gun, but you couldn't have the two rays together that close or it would have blown him away. So he had to separate the lenses, and that's why it's all wide like that. Like, I like that they put the time and effort into explaining why his helmet is so ridiculous.
And also, I'll give them credit for making very comic accurate costumes and those kinds of things, because we always complain about that when it comes to comic book movies, especially Peeps, and like talking about X-Men. But, we have an actual Black Manta suit, an actual Aquaman suit, an actual Mera suit. We have an actual Ocean Master suit. Like, it was, I mean, from the mask to everything.
I actually like the Ocean Master.
Yes,
it was cool. So, it was just...
And motherfucking Dolph Lundgren. He was awesome in that shit.
He actually did good. He did do good. I'm not going to lie.
He was great. But yeah, I read an interview with James Wan, and they said, like, oh, man, it's really cool, like, all the costumes and everything. And he said... These are cool-ass costumes in the comic book. Why would we change it? And I love that response, because
awesome.
I'm like, it's so true. Why do so many studios waste so much time and energy and money to make something look different, which then most of the time just pisses everybody off because it's not comic book accurate? When it's like, I love that James Wan just had that, like, dude, this shit's cool as fuck in the comic. Like, why would I change that? Like, know, so, and he made it work, man. And I just, man, so much fun with this. So Aquaman at number 5 for me.
Nice.
Number 4 was on one of your all's list and not on the other one. Once again, you want to talk about fun? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 4, baby. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I saw this, I think, 4 times in the theater.
Holy crap.
Loved it. I loved it so much. I saw it in IMAX down here in Tucson. I saw it in the real big IMAX in Phoenix. I saw it in 3D. I saw it in 2D. Like, this movie was a blast to me. I actually enjoy this one better than the first film.
Wow.
It's super funny. I enjoy all the other characters. I think Ghost is super cool. I really enjoy Lawrence Fishburne's character in this movie. Wasp is, of course, fantastic. Luis is great as always. I just had such a blast with this film. This is Paul Rudd is so good as this character, and I'm so happy that they casted him. I mean, he was the highlight of the Endgame trailer. Everything's all sour and dour, and then he's like, "Hey, it's me. Remember me from the airport? Can you just buzz me in?" And he's just so great, and I love him in this character. I love him in this role, and yeah, this movie just super, super fun. Had a great time with it at number 4. Number 3, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh shit!
Impossible Fallout.
I was surprised.
I Absolutely love this movie. I saw this twice in the theater. So good. Probably my favorite Mission Impossible of all of them. I just was wowed by this movie, man, and I agree with Fred. The addition of Henry Cavill was fantastic. I love what he does with Cruise. I love their scenes together, opposite of each other. Everything they do in this movie. The crew is always good in this movie. I love Ving Rhames. I love, Simon Pegg. Rebecca Ferguson is always great in these. This movie, the action is so top-notch. The pacing's incredible. I mean, it hits on so many levels. And Tom Cruise, man, you walk out of this thing just going, man, nothing can stop this fucking guy, at all. He's so good as Ethan Hunt. This series has been going on for 22 years, and it's just getting better. It's insane, man. So, absolutely love Mission Impossible Fallout. Number 3.
That bathroom scene, dude. Holy shit.
Dude.
The bathroom fight.
So good.
Oh,
so good. And what's so good about that scene is that they get their fucking ass kicked in that scene. It's not just like a typical movie fight scene where your two heroes just are badass and they kill everybody all easily. They get their ass whooped by this one little Asian dude, and it's
that
great.
dude was badass. So good.
It's so good. That bathroom scene is one of the best action sequences. It's so good. Peeps, you need to immediately watch Mission Impossible Fallout.
I'm watching it right now, guys. Don't worry.
Nice.
All right. And number 2, I was sad how much lower you guys both had this film. Because I absolutely fucking loved it. Deadpool 2.
All I heard you say was that Into the Spider-Verse is not on your top 10.
That's all I heard. Yeah.
That's all I heard.
Yes. Sorry, Spidey.
Wow.
You know what? And it's nothing. So, on a side note, it's very, very hard for me to loop an animated film into these type of lists. I just consider animated films in their whole little side bucket. I just cannot, for whatever reason, wrap my head around an animated film being in the same conversation with live action. They're separate to me, and I just can't cross the streams. Alright, it just doesn't compute.
That's a Ghostbusters reference?
He did, and it worked. That worked so well.
I loved Spider-Verse. I've seen it twice, and my daughter absolutely loves this film. She talks about it all the time. She loves the song. We listen to Spidey Bells all the damn time, which is fantastic as well. It's a great movie from start to finish. It's got humor, it's got everything, and I understand why you guys ranked it where you did, but for me, I just can't put cartoons in my thing. It's just, like I said, I love Teen Titans Go to the Movies this year.
Cartoon,
I couldn't do it. Nah, stop. No. No.
Nice try, Peeps.
No. I have to keep live action with live action. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there right now trying to petition to be like, Into the Spider-Verse should be, when the Oscars get nominated, it should actually be in the conversation for Best Film and not just Best Animated Film. And I'm like, nah, just leave it in the Best Animated Film category because I don't see the mixture there. But congratulations to it. It did win the Golden Globe for Best Animated Film a couple nights ago, so that was awesome. It definitely deserved to win that, and I think it definitely deserves to win the Animated Movie of the Year as well too at the Oscars. But I can't cross the streams, man. So getting back to the real number 2, it's Deadpool 2. I knew when I saw this film the first time, I was like, this is the second best movie of the year, and that never changed for me.
Wow.
I saw this 3 times in the theater. Of course, have it on Blu-ray. I watched the super duper fucking cut as well too.
Have you seen the Christmas version?
You know what? I did not. We decided to not see that one when it came out. just because there was other stuff playing, and I'd rather watch something new than just a watered-down PG-13 version. But that Once Upon a Deadpool is coming out on digital next week, so I'm actually going to buy it, even though I haven't seen it, because I hear the Fred Savage stuff is fantastic. So yeah. I will buy it. It's only $15 on Vudu. I'm going to pre-order it, and we'll watch it next week when it comes out. But Deadpool 2 is just so good. I enjoy Deadpool 2 way better than Deadpool 1. So
really,
yes, I think it's hands down better than the first film. Just from an action standpoint, the humor, just the way everything comes together. Cable is so good. Josh Brolin, the year of Josh Brolin. Domino, I feel the same way that Frigginz did. When she was cast, I was like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. I just did not think it was a fit whatsoever, but she did wow me over in the film. She was great, and I want to see more with her. I hope that we're going to still get that X-Force movie. It's looking a little doubting right now because the Disney merger is almost complete, and they have not started filming it, so we might not get that, which is going to suck. But Deadpool 2 is just so damn funny. I love all the meta references. I love all the DC references, the Marvel references, everything he does in the film. Ryan Reynolds, born to play this role. I love Deadpool 2. So
yeah, it's very much like Anchorman 2. Like there's so many fucking jokes in there. Like you catch something new almost every time you watch it. Honestly,
it's true. There was a lot more
and you're right.
The second time.
You're right. Ryan Reynolds is just like born to play that role. Like there's no other better role for him to play than that role. He just nails it.
Yeah, they said he wrote all the new jokes and everything for the Fred Savage stuff in that Once Upon a Deadpool. Like he did it all himself, and he understands the humor part of Deadpool so well. I love it because I follow Rob Liefeld on Twitter, and he's just always gushing about how well Ryan Reynolds portrays the character and how it's everything he envisioned in his head.
That's his baby. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I mean, he loves Ryan. So great stuff there. So Deadpool 2, my number 2, and that brings us to our number 1.
I must say, Don, it's very interesting that The Rock and no movies that The Rock was in have made your top.
Thank you for saying that. I wanted to point that out as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thought maybe Rampage at least would be like number 9.
At least, if not Skyscraper.
You know what's funny? If I had to rank them, Skyscraper would outweigh Rampage for me. But I like both movies. I really enjoyed Rampage and I really enjoyed Skyscraper. Jumanji was last year. That was not 2018.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh man.
Came out in December.
Got it.
Yeah, so we only had 2 Rock movies. They were both probably. If we did a 20, they'd probably be in there somewhere. But not quite top 10. But
okay. That's fair.
But great solid entries from my boy Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And that leads us to number 1, and we left off number 1 on purpose because miraculously we have 3 very, very varied lists. But it was a great year with one amazing film at the top that we all could agree on. And I think most of you out there do as well too. Making $2.5 billion at the box office, making $265 million opening weekend, the biggest movie basically of all time.
I think we should all say it at the same time.
1, 2, 3.
Avengers
Infinity War. See, Peeps had to say that and then fuck it all up.
I know. Why did you set it up and then you screwed it up.
He set it up and he completely fucked us.
That's what I like to do.
Yes.
Damn it to hell. You're just like Thanos. You're the villain.
Avengers Infinity War is the number 1 film of 2018 for all 3 of us. What can I say except you're welcome? The culmination of 20 MCU films coming together, an event film like no other, literally putting the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe into one film, and then doing the impossible by the end of the film and pretty much killing half of them all off. Letting the bad guy win. Talking about seeing these movies multiple times, I saw Infinity War 5 times in the theater. I saw it like 3 times in the first 3 days it was out.
Holy crap.
You know, it was so good. Any opportunity I had to go see this film, any friend that was like, I haven't seen it yet, I'm like, let's go.
What is wrong with you?
We need to see this
I'll
film.
take them. Let's go.
Yeah, I even went out of town the week after it came out for a business meeting, and we had dinner that night, and I was like, y'all seen Avengers yet? And everybody was like, no, I haven't had a chance yet. I'm like looking up on my phone. I'm in New Mexico at this point, and I'm like, hey, there's a theater 5 minutes up the road. It plays at 10:20 tonight. Let's go watch it. And we took the entire crew from our work meeting over to the theater. We watched it. Everybody had a great time. It was awesome.
I just it boggled it. I just cannot see how they put this together. How do they get so many different characters? Doctor Strange, the Guardians, Captain America. They got all these different pieces of this huge puzzle, and when they put it together, like they all still felt very natural to their character, as if they still existed in their movie, but they're not. Like when they showed the Guardians, we had that little scene of like the little rock, the music that came on, and then it's just putting everything together. It was again, as you said, Don, it just absolutely blew me away. And with the ending, I was with Frigginz when this movie ended, and myself, including everybody in that theater, it was just like you could hear a fucking pin drop. Like, everybody's jaw was on the fucking ground. Like, did that shit just happen? Hold on, no. That can't be. Did that shit just happen? Like, I don't know. I will say that this movie, after leaving the theater, I said this to myself, like, is this, that moment in Step Brothers, like, did we just become best friends? I said, did I just watch the best movie of all time? And I honestly feel that way to this day. This movie blew me the fuck away so good that I will say that it is literally my favorite movie of all time. It still to this day, just I absolutely love it. And I love just how long it is. I've always said, like, I enjoy long movies. They say they try to cut the movie down because it's too long. Don't. Like, yes, King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong was a little bit too fucking long, but this movie, it is long, but I wanted more. Like, they cut it in half. We're getting a part 2 coming up pretty soon, and I see why. Like, I could sit through this whole part 1 and part 2 and love every minute of it. So.
And I'm right there with you. I agree with you. I mean, I know, Peeps, when the movie came out, we did our spoiler review, and we both said this is easily the number 1 film in the MCU. I'm with you. I mean, when I think now, what's my favorite film? My head goes immediately to this film at this point.
Yeah, man.
Because it is just so damn incredible. And for being a 2.5 hour plus movie, I think this movie flies the fuck by. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, when it came out on digital, I had bought it, and I've been buying all my newer movies in 4K and loving it. And I remember I put it on, and my wife was like, "Oh, are you gonna watch this right now?" And I was like, "No, I just want to see a couple minutes, like in 4K. I want to see how cool the picture looks." Yeah, 2.5 hours later, I was like, "Oh, I did not mean to watch the whole movie," and yeah, I just didn't even realize it because I couldn't shut it off. I was like, "This is so good."
It blew me away. Like it's like what I talked about a little bit earlier about this movie brought so many. Like, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. There's the really cool highs of where you're seeing the heroes kick ass and the theater's clapping and the whole crowd is like cheering. And
Captain America's showing up. Yep.
Yes, I mean, like, I got the
showing up
tears
with
of
oh
yeah, that too.
Best
I mean,
scenes
there's
ever.
so many different modes of emotion that you experience by watching this, especially someone like like us who grew up comic books and cartoons and those kinds of things. But even aside from that, people that have now grown up watching the MCU movies, they get to experience that too. And we got to see this amazing roller coaster of ups and downs, of sad moments and happy moments. And it just hits you not only visually, where we get to say like, oh, that was a badass fight scene, but emotionally. And I think that that's what really takes a movie to the next level, is if they can hit you on all those different spectrums and not just one or the other. And that's why this movie is so good, because it really truly hits you with a good story and all the different emotional beats throughout, and by giving you the surprise, because as Pete said earlier, we weren't expecting that the villain to win this one. I mean, we knew he was going to like get something, or we knew there was a second part, so you kind of could assume that something was going to happen, but you didn't assume necessarily that he was about to wipe out half of the universe in that way. And Thanos really just to kind of like portal out and be like, I'm out, bitches. And then
and to see the heroes disappear, yes. Man. Like...
And then the ones that are remaining to have to deal with that. And like to see the expressions on their face and their reactions after just realizing that half the world is gone. Like that was intense.
Yeah, I mean, a hell of an ending that basically the bad guy wins, which doesn't happen very often, you know. And
like, what a risk, I would say. Like how? I don't know.
Because, I mean, how hard is it now to advertise that there's another Spider-Man movie coming out when Spider-Man's dead in the MCU right now? You know, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
And what's cool, too, is that the one of the best things about being a comic book fan, being a superhero fan, is there's so many characters. So everyone could have a character that's their favorite. And I know, Peeps, like for you, like for the years that I've known you, you've always talked about Thanos as being in one of those, like probably top 5 of your all-time favorite characters.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool to see where normally a lot of people like the villains, and normally the villains get shafted. And we're always complaining about how the villain wasn't that good, or they're just a ripoff of the hero, and whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. So like, it was cool to let those people who have Thanos as their favorite, they got their moment too. So it's not just us getting the people who love Star-Lord, the people who love Captain America, the people who love Iron Man. We always get our moment in all those different movies. But it was cool for those people that have grown up and loving characters like Thanos to get that moment of, holy crap, my favorite character just came in and kicked ass and won like he's supposed to. Like that was really cool.
It just raises the stakes even more on this next movie. I think it was just absolutely brilliant. After seeing everything that he is capable of, to see just the old school core of Avengers face up against him in this next movie. How are they going to do that? Is there any a blonde chick that might pop up randomly and save the day? Who knows? Maybe.
I guarantee it.
Right. I don't know, man. I probably don't want to get, we have a whole show on this. Please check out, our older episode of Infinity War to get more on how we truly feel about this movie.
We could sit and probably talk about this movie for another 2 hours.
Easy.
But you could hear us gushing over it, and that's because why it is the number 1 movie of the year. A tremendous feat that should not have probably worked, and it worked better than we ever could have assumed. So let's go back around real quick, and let's do our complete top 10 real quick and break it down. So, Peeps, I'm going to roll back to you. Let's roll out your top 10.
All right, starting with number 10, Aquaman. Then number 9, Ant-Man. Number 8, Ready Player One. Number 7, Deadpool 2. Number 6, Hotel Transylvania 3. Number 5, The First Purge. Number 2, holy crap, how did that happen? Number 4, Solo. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a.k.a. It's. And number 1, Infinity War.
All right, Fred, your top 10.
I just want you to know, when you said hotel, I was just sitting here shaking my head like, no, but that's cool. It's your list. All right. So
don't worry, we'll do that too when you get to Crazy Rich Asians.
Exactly. So my list: number 10, A Quiet Place; number 9, Mission Impossible Fallout; number 8, Deadpool 2; number 7, Solo; Number 6, Black Panther. Number 5, A Star is Born. Number 4, Crazy Rich Asians. Number 3, Ready Player One. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And number 1, Avengers Infinity War.
All right. Number 10 for me, Instant Family. Number 9, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Number 8, Ready Player One. Number 7 is Bohemian Rhapsody. Number 6, Black Panther. Number 5, Aquaman. Number 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 3, Mission Impossible Fallout. Number 2, Deadpool 2. And number 1, Avengers Infinity War.
Sorry, Venom.
Yeah, sorry, Venom.
Sorry, Venom. I did have a lot of fun with Venom, though, too. But,
was fun.
Not top 10. But, all right, so there you guys go. That is our top 10 countdown of 2018. And, we are going to shift gears a little bit now and talk very quickly, because we're already going on close to a 2-hour mark here, about our most anticipated films. Now, with a lot of these, we're just guessing. Like I said, we don't even know much about a lot of these films, but we're kind of laying them out, and I'm really anxious to see what you guys got. But we're going to rank them down again, number 10 through number 1 of our most anticipated films of 2019. So, Peeps, I'm going to roll it on back to you. What do you got, good sir?
All right, my man. Number 10, I am starting with a movie that I absolutely, again, nostalgia. It is a Disney movie they are making into a live action. So, Don, I don't want to hear that you didn't get any of these movies on your list, because it is an actual movie. But that is Aladdin. Looking forward to Aladdin. Though the genie looks fucking weird, it's still Aladdin, so it's going to be dope.
He'll be blue, don't worry.
He'll be blue.
Okay. All right. God, don't give me a black genie. No. Number 9. A movie I did not expect to actually have on a top 10, but since the last movie did so well, I am really looking forward to this one, and that is It, Chapter 2. So, really liked It, Chapter 2. I'm really looking forward to it. Number 8, that is a movie that, again, did not expect to be on my top 10, but again, nostalgia. What can I say? Hate me if you want. That is the actual Pokemon movie. I did not, was it Detective
Pikachu?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, again, that trailer, fucking Pokemon, dude. I love music. I loved Pokemon growing up, and I don't know. Trailer looks hella fun, so let's see what happens.
I didn't even like Pokemon, and that trailer was fucking amazing, and actually really want to see that now.
I'll agree. Yeah. It's not in my top 10, but it does look pretty damn funny. Yeah, Pika Pika.
All right, number 6 is probably shocking to most folks that know me. It is an MCU film, and it is Captain Marvel. Though I am looking forward to it, I'm not super excited about it. I know enough about her to talk nerd with some folks with Captain Marvel, but not really looking forward. She's just meh. I don't know. We'll see. Captain Marvel, number 7. Number 6, another nostalgia movie. Holy shit, that trailer blew me away, and that is Godzilla. To see all of my favorite old school kaijus going at it, holy shit. Fucking Ghidorah. Oh, I'm so excited. Or Ghidorah, whatever his actual name is. But anyways, yes, Godzilla. Number 5, this was on my most anticipated last year. So this is my Gambit, Fred. So just so you know.
Fred probably has Gambit.
Why do you have to keep... yeah. Why do you
keep
have to
rolling
remind
it
me of
over.
that? So sad.
Sorry.
Every year, Gambit's number 1.
I'm pretty sure it's on this one, buddy. But yeah, Alita Battle Angel. I'm looking forward to this movie. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out. Number 4 is a DC movie over a Marvel movie, right? Shazam. It looks hella fun. Hopefully they're not just good. Shazam. Number 3, I like the last movie, Spider-Man, a lot. So Spider-Man Far From Home. Really looking forward to this one. Number 9, Star Wars.
Number 9.
Shit.
2.
Okay. Number 2, Star Wars 2. 9.
Yeah. 4,
There
3,
you go.
9.
We're starting over from 9. No.
That's funny.
Star Wars. I loved freaking Last Jedi. It seems like there's a line in the sand with Star Wars fans now. You either will love it or absolutely hate it. I was on the love side of Last Jedi, so I'm really looking forward to what happens next in the Star Wars universe. So, Episode 9, Star Wars. Let's do it, Ray. And number 1, big shocker, Avengers Endgame. So, 10 anticipated movies of 2019.
Nice. All right, Frigginz, let's see how much you line up or shock us.
Well, I think I will shock you. I will shock you with the fact that my number 10 is the exact same as Peeps.
What?
Yes, I also am really looking forward to Aladdin. Aladdin is one of the first Disney movies I can remember seeing in the theater, so it has a very soft spot in my heart, and I couldn't be more thrilled to see a live-action film of that. So that gets my number 10. Number 9 is The Joker. Now, it's just called Joker. You don't know about The Joker?
It's just called Joker.
Oh, not The Joker.
There's no the.
You don't know about Joker?
Why? No.
Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix. I'm super excited to see what this is going to be about. This was not originally on any radar of mine. I like the Joker. I'm not going to say he's like my favorite villain of all time, but I'm intrigued. This is on my list for more of like I wonder what's going to happen with it kind of vibe. So
I wonder how bad of a train wreck it's going to be.
Or it could be that surprise that's just like, I expected this to suck, and it's amazing.
True.
So
That's true.
We will see.
I see how I got these scars.
I do. Thank you. Tell me how you got those. Number 8 is It, Chapter 2. As I mentioned before, I'm not a big horror fan, but
you are a horror.
Well, that remains to be seen. But the first one, really ended up liking it, and it blew me away. I didn't expect to want to go see it. And after seeing the trailer, it was amazing. So now I can't wait for the second one. So yes, number 8 is It, Chapter 2. Number 7. I have Star Wars Episode 9.
Wow, number 7.
I know you would think it's higher, especially over my 6, but honestly,
I think Frigginz is on the other half of Last Jedi. So.
You know me too well because I was literally about to say those exact words. I was on the other side of the Last Jedi fandom in that I did not enjoy it. There are parts of it, of course, that I thought were cool. Some visual aspects were awesome, but as a whole, I did not like it that much. So that brought me down a little bit, although I love The Force Awakens. So that gives me hope and keeps it on the top 10 list. Number 6. This one almost didn't even make the list, but the more I thought about it...
but it's number 6.
Well, yeah, I know. The more
it
I
almost didn't make
it,
the list, but it's number 2. Get ready.
The more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, you know what? I really want to see this. The hard part is I can't tell if I really want to see it for cause, not because I think it's good, but maybe because I almost want to see the train wreck that it's going to be. So it's weird, and it lands in this number 6 spot, which is Dark Phoenix. X-Men Dark Phoenix was on my list last year. It was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed. So it's on my list again. But after seeing the trailer, first I really thought it was really cool. Then I started getting worried. I'm like, shit, that looks just like Last Stand.
Yes, it does.
But then, so I'm not exactly sure. But that kind of makes the interest there. Right. And for whatever reason, I actually am more excited to see that, even if it's a train wreck, more than the other stuff. So number 6.
Wow. Some people like watching horrible movies.
Some motherfuckers like to ice skate uphill.
Ice skate uphill.
Yeah. Good reference. Number 5, I recently just watched Spider-Man Homecoming, and I was like, oh my God, this movie's so good. And I just love that movie so much. That Spider-Man Far From Home makes my number 5. I can't wait to see the new suit in action. I should say new suits, plural, in action, because I've already seen a bunch on the internet. Damn you, internet. But I can't wait to see how that shakes out. Number 4, I have Captain Marvel. I thought this would be a little bit higher initially because, like Peeps, I don't know a whole lot about her. But unlike Peeps, that kind of gives me more excitement because for once I'm going into a Marvel movie that I don't know like every single detail about. So that's kind of cool. But when we get to the top of the list here, that one was just underneath these other 3.
Have you seen the trailer yet?
I actually have seen the trailer.
Okay.
I saw it once in the theater so far. I've been able to avoid all the newer trailers, and that trailer did get that excitement up there. And I think that's why it's higher. It might have been a little bit lower if I hadn't seen that trailer, but that definitely bumped it up. A movie that may not even have been on my list, but the trailer has completely shocked me and got me so stoked, was Glass. That makes number 3 on my top 10 list. I'm just dying for this movie to come out, which I won't have to wait very long. It's almost here, but holy crap, this trailer looks amazeballs. I cannot wait to check this one out. Should be a good ride. Number 2, I have Shazam. Yes, Shazam, a movie I never thought I would even want on a list. But like,
I'm right there.
It looks funny, right? I mean, like, it has like funny and cool, and it looks like a different vibe. I'm just really excited to see this film, and I think all the actors that they've got included in this film seem to be perfect for every single role that we've seen in the trailer. So really excited to see what kind of changes this is going to bring to DC, and hopefully it's positive changes going forward. And last but not least, number 1
I hope The Rock pops up in it. I want to say that
yeah, at the end, like, I'm the Atom.
Black Adam, baby.
Yeah. So we'll see how that shakes out. But number 1 for me, of course, Avengers Endgame. We got to see how that's going to end.
Oh. We're in the end game now, fellas. We're in the end game now.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. I like it. All right. Well,
I must say, for me, there was a couple honorable mentions. Like, I didn't know they were coming out with another Grudge movie and Addams Family. What? Another Kingsman movie as well? What?
Prequel.
Yeah, prequel. Let's state that. It's gonna not be.
Are
good.
You Afraid of the Dark? Talk about nostalgia. Right. Zombieland 2.
Okay, stop. We ain't got time for this shit.
Get out of here, Peeps. We're running. We're trying to finish here. He just said we're in the end game now.
We're in the end game now, fellas.
Oh, he did say that. Sorry.
I am looking forward to Zombieland 2, though. That's going to be awesome. All right. My top 10 in most anticipated films 2019. Coming in at number 10, matching up with you guys again, it's going to be It Chapter 2. I was blown away by the first movie. I like horror movies, but I feel like lately they've been a bunch of shit for the most part. They've just been not very good movies, and it blew me away. I love the first film, and I'm looking really forward to seeing the kids grown up, seeing the adult versions, seeing Jessica Chastain in there, and just everybody that they got. I'm just so stoked to see these adult versions have to deal with Pennywise. I think it's going to be great. We all float down here. So It Chapter 2 is number 10. Number 9 is something you guys did not talk about, but man, I'm really excited for it. And I know a lot of people are probably not because of just been burned out over the past couple years, but I'm excited due to the people behind it, and that is the, so far, untitled movie, but it's the new Terminator that's coming out. This is produced by James Cameron. James Cameron coming back to the fold. They're doing that new go-to, which is basically, we're going to make a sequel, and we're going to say, forget all the other sequels you saw. This is actually going to be Terminator 3. So this is going to pick up after Judgment Day and be the continuation. We got Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor. Arnold's back. It's a new timeline. We're continuing on. It's got the director from the first Deadpool movie. Like I said, James Cameron's involved helping write the film and producing it. And we haven't seen much from it. I've seen a couple pictures. We have no trailer. We don't even know the official title. But I like how some of these films are going back and saying, this is your new number 2. This is your new number 3. We're kind of fixing the timeline. And we all know how amazing Terminator 2 is. And I have a good feeling that they're going to do something pretty special here to follow it up with. So the new Terminator is my number 9. Coming in number 8 is going to be Godzilla. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I just think looks so fantastic. That new trailer that came out blew me away. All of the creatures. Just the amount of post-apocalyptic this world looks like it's getting shit on by all of these creatures. It's
Way to put it.
insane. It's such a grim and dark looking movie, but man, does it look cool as fuck. So, Godzilla King of the Monsters at number 8. Number 7, I'm actually shocked that neither of you said, but I'm looking really forward to it, and that's John Wick Chapter 3.
I'm shocked.
It would have been in my
Fred
top
didn't say.
15.
Yeah.
It would have been in my top 15.
I love the John Wick films. John Wick 2, I think, is incredible. I like it better than the first one. And it ends on such a cliffhanger ending with him basically running for his life that I can't wait to see where this movie takes us on this new adventure. John Wick, I can't wait to see more headshots. It's going to be fantastic. John Wick.
See, I think that's why it didn't make my list. Is I didn't like the ending. I thought I thought it was very un-John Wick of him. So I don't know.
I'm with you, Frigginz.
Oh my God, whatever.
Thank you.
It was very John Wick of him. He was like, "Fuck this guy. I don't give a fuck what your rules are. I'm killing this bitch."
No, I like that. Yeah, I didn't like the cliffhanger ending.
Oh,
see, I
loved it, leaving us off to like, oh man, this next film's gonna be crazy. Because now he's what? What did they call it? He's man, I can't remember the term now.
I can't think of the term either.
Excommunicata.
Yeah, there you go. Excommunicado.
Yeah. So, so John Wick Chapter 3 coming in number 7. Number 6 is also a movie for me that neither of you had, but man, I'm so fucking excited for it. It's going to be The Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. That's right, it's The Rock and Jason Statham teaming up for a Fast and Furious spinoff. It's going to be fucking fantastic. I'm so excited for this movie. The best thing about The Fate of the Furious was everything The Rock and Jason Statham did together. These guys have awesome chemistry together. It's going to be action. It's going to be funny. It's going to be so kick-ass. This is being directed by David Leitch, who also did Deadpool 2 and did Atomic Blonde. I think it's going to have some fantastic action in it, and it's just going to be a really cool spin-off. I think these are the right two guys to put together, and man, I'm really excited for Hobbs and Shaw.
So you're probably gonna laugh at me, Dom, but I saw that, and I don't know enough about Fast and Furious to be like, who the fuck is Hobbs and Shaw? I was like, is this Ludacris and like
Ludacris and Tyrese?
That is awesome.
So no,
I didn't realize that was the next year when I was going through the list. I missed that one, so it might have. It's probably like my 11th. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be so much fun. You know it, man. These guys are gonna kick ass. I'm excited because of the director and just these two, and I just think, man, they're gonna do something real special with it. They're still filming it right now, so that's why we don't have a trailer yet or anything. But I'm super stoked, man. They were just so good together in the last film.
That film was bad though. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. They should be good though. It should be funny.
Yes, sir. All right, coming in number 5 for me is Captain Marvel. I think it looks really cool. I only know a little bit about this character as well, like you guys, so I'm also looking forward to seeing her origin told. I'm looking forward. I love the fact that this is set in the 90s, and we're getting young Nick Fury and young Agent Coulson, and we have Ronin back, and really cool to see the Kree in a different light, and I like the way that they're bringing this whole thing together. That new first look that just came out last night that I sent you guys, I know you didn't watch, is only a minute and a half. It doesn't show a tremendous amount of new footage, but it shows a lot more of the humor of the film, and it just looks really, really cool. So I'm super stoked to see that in March. So Captain Marvel at number 5. Number 4 is Shazam. Same thing with you guys, man. I think this just looks fantastic. This was my favorite trailer coming out of Comic-Con. I think Zachary Levi is the perfect guy to play Shazam. I mean, he was never on my radar to play this role, but when they announced him, I was like, oh my god, that's perfect, because he's a nerd, he loves comic books, he's so into this stuff, and being the fact that he's basically playing a 13-year-old kid in a grown-up superhero body, he's going to play it perfectly. I love that we're getting this side of the DC universe and I'm stoked because there's going to be a ton. We talked about Easter eggs in Ready Player One. I mean, if you just watch the trailer, you see batarangs, and you see the one kid wearing an Aquaman shirt, and you see Superman stuff on the walls. Like, this is set in the DC universe, and now we got Shazam popping up. I'm hoping Henry Cavill shot that rumored cameo to come meet up with Shazam, because I think a Superman Shazam cameo would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Coming in number 3 is Spider-Man Far From Home. I love Homecoming. I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man we've ever had. I can't wait to see how they bring him back in Avengers. This is going to be hard to market this film tremendously, since it comes out like 2 months after Endgame, and they don't probably want to spoil how he comes back. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but we know nothing really much about this film. We know we got Mysterio in here with Jake Gyllenhaal, and yeah, we've seen no trailer. We've only seen some pictures. He's got some cool new suits, and we know Nick Fury and Maria Hill are in it. So, looking forward to it. Spider-Man Far From Home at number 3. Number 2 for me is Star Wars Episode 9. Regardless of, how the last film really played out, and I like Last Jedi, I'm excited that JJ's back. I'm excited that he gets to finish his vision that he started with Force Awakens. I'm hoping he kind of course corrects some of the shit that Rian Johnson did in the last film.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and
Yes, please.
Yeah, so
was never dead.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot he's going to change up to pretty much put it back to the way he set it up in Force Awakens. Then Rian Johnson came in and said, "Fuck your couch," and so now he's got to fix it. So I'm excited. We got to still wait to December. It's almost still a year away, but I'm stoked for Episode 9. And just like these guys, of course, no doubt, number 1, Avengers Endgame. What can you say? We only have a 2-minute little teaser trailer that's out, and it's perfect. It's so perfect.
I still haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen it yet.
You know what though? It doesn't really show anything. It just basically sets the tone of where everybody's at in their heads. Everybody's moping around. Everybody's dead. You should watch the trailer, because honestly, as much, and you guys know me, I love trailers. I'm like, give me more, give me more, give me more. With Endgame, I would actually be totally fine if this is the only trailer that they ever release.
Wow.
Because
that says a lot for you to
because
say.
it's perfect. It's perfect. It gives you chills. You see that the team is like, fuck, man, we are down. We got to try something. We need to try to get everybody back. And if it doesn't work, we are fucked. And then, boom, Avengers Endgame. And, that's it. You don't really see no action. You don't see any story beats. You don't see shit. It's just basically broken down team saying, we got to do something. And, watch it, Fred. I mean, it's not, you're going to be satisfied if you just watch that and be like, all right, that's it. I'm done.
I will say, I did like the little moment they had where you saw the people who were missing on the on the TV, and you saw a person that is, I guess, was killed that we didn't know actually died. So that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, it's just character beats, and it's a great teaser trailer that gets you excited but gives nothing away of the film. I love it, just like we talked about in the chat yesterday, Kevin Feige talking about they're hoping that all the marketing that they do is going to literally be footage from just the first 20 minutes of the film. They're really trying to keep this thing on wrap. They're trying to keep all the secrets, and really not give everything out. I mean, you can't really show footage of, Black Panther coming back. You gotta play it the right way, and they have enough that they can do, with Hawkeye and Ant-Man and Captain Marvel and different people that are going to come into play here that weren't in Infinity War. So,
Ruffalo will mess it up sometime.
Yeah, spoil it.
So, gonna be fantastic. I love that they pushed up the release date a week again, so it's at the end of April, like how Infinity War was. It's gonna be awesome. So, quickly, let's go back around. Let's do our top 10 again. Peeps, roll down your top 10 most anticipated.
All right, starting with number 10, I'm just going to go all the way down. I'm assuming you guys can count down. Aladdin, It Chapter 2, Detective Pikachu, Captain Marvel, Godzilla, Alita Battle Angel, Shazam, Spider-Man, Star Wars Part 9, Into the Star Wars Verse, and Avengers Endgame.
Nice.
Into the Star Wars verse. All right, Frigginz,
like
your
it.
10.
All right, I'm up. Aladdin, number 10, and I'm also just going to go down. Joker, It, Chapter 2, Star Wars Episode 9, Dark Phoenix, Spider-Man, Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Glass, Shazam, and Avengers Endgame.
All right. You know, I struggled with Dark Phoenix. Like, that almost made my 10, and then I was just like, I can't. Like, that trailer, if a new trailer came out and it was just a bit better, it probably would have made it. But if that's the only trailer we have so far, and it really is just Last Stand to me, I'm like, I can't do it yet. So
that's
they still got
part of the reason why it's interesting, though, is because it's like going to be that train wreck. I don't know.
All right, my 10, coming in number 10, it's It Chapter 2. Number 9, the new Terminator film, Terminator 3 reboot. Number 8, Godzilla King of Monsters. Number 7, John Wick Chapter 3. Number 6, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Number 5, Captain Marvel. Number 4, Shazam. Number 3, Spider-Man Far From Home. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 9. And number 1, Avengers Endgame. I like how me and Peeps have number 1 through 4 exactly the same. So
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Very, very
and
cool.
could they have just called it Hobbs and Shaw? I mean, does it?
It
have
was
to
called
say...
Hobbs and Shaw, and then like a couple weeks ago, they're like official title released, and then it's all the Fast and Furious presents. Because I think they have to because of what Peeps just said. Like, if you just read Hobbs and Shaw, most people are like, "Who the fuck is that? Like, what are they talking about?" But if you're like Fast and Furious presents, then you're like, "Oh, okay, that's who they are. They're their characters from Fast and Furious. It's a spinoff." So I get it, just like how they want to put a Star Wars story, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Solo, a Star Wars story.
Hobbs and Shaw, a Fast and Furious story.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Into the Fast and Furious verse.
I like that.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, there you go. A couple hours of chock full goodness of our top 10 of 2018 and most anticipated 2019. If you guys haven't seen any of these films that we talked about in 2018, you should definitely go check them out because they were obviously good enough to make our list. Most of them are available on digital and Blu-ray at this point. A couple of them are still yet to come out, but for the most part, they're all out now and you can check them out. So I want to thank my guest for coming on tonight, Frigginz and Peeps. You can follow them on Twitter. Frigginz is at Frigginz, and Peeps over here is at For My Peoples. And thanks, guys, for coming on. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Good
So
times.
I hope you all enjoyed. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at DXDonMega and follow the show at Am I On The Air. AmIOnTheAir.com. Check us out every week, breaking down the latest and greatest in entertainment news. And, enjoy your new year. 2019 is here. Let's rock it. Can't wait to see how these most anticipated play out when it's all said and done. So, till next time, y'all. Peace!
Red Dragons!